Welcome back to WaiVER CLaiM, the show where we team up to take down our AI buddy MILO, human takes, AI verdicts every week. This is episode 16. You should play the song now. Episode 16. We're going to go over the running back money reversal. Obviously, 3 massive running backs got paid. We're going to talk about it. Then we're throwing it back in the claim. We're going to play a little keep, trade, cut. And then we're going to go over free agent fines. If you did your dynasty draft, maybe that's over. If not, we're going to talk about players that we have on our waiver wire that we're going to add now or later. Follow us on all socials and audio platforms at WaiVER CLaiM Show. Find us on YouTube at WaiVER CLaiM. Hit subscribe and help us spread the word. As always, we got my guy Chris Tomlinson on the show, the voice of MILO and the voice of Chris. He does both. Chris,
I'm so distracted by Doggo Claim. See Doggo. We love Doggo Claim over there. But, all right, I guess into my little odds and ends BS portion. Watched the Hard Knocks like 2 hours ago. 2 things that caught my eye on that. I like their little sledgehammer competition. So essentially, if they like fight each other, they just try and hold sledgehammers out, and whoever holds out longest wins. And then, like, the funniest line that's probably only funny to me is the announcer. They're looking at Terry and Arnold right now, who we know has signed with them, but it's the process of doing that. And the announcer's like, Terry and Arnold, the free agent with the legal problems. I just found that hysterical. 2 other things. James Pierce, trash human, probably, allegedly. And then just going back to a couple episodes ago, I had to book a whole bunch of work travel this week. I will tell you that aisle seats are taking more than window seats, at least on my flights, because I got to go to Auburn next week.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anybody I should be looking out for, Rich. You're the college guy.
I mean, we'll talk about it as the show gets on, but college is right around the corner, and I'm pumped because my team sucks and we have 3 first-round picks. So I'm going to deep dive this year for sure in college. And aisle seats are elite. I booked 2 aisle seats this week myself. So it was great. I'm going to Germany, but I know that Rafael is going to make a lot of jokes either right now or off air. So maybe not on air. We'll talk about it after the show, Rafael. Speaking of Rafael, welcome to the show. What's going on, Rafael?
Hey, what's up? I've actually been dealing with a headache all week. My 5-year-old Tuesday night decided to pull his Nerf gun on me and shot me directly in my right eye.
Just fine.
I've had a headache all week. My right eye is swollen. I currently look like Forrest Whitaker, if you can picture it. While it hurt, and I don't want him to do it again, I can't even be mad. I'm actually impressed. The kid's got really good aim, and I think he's got a future.
I mean, my dynasty team name's Orbital Insertion, and he took that literally.
I mean, you might actually be a fan of Chris based on that. Alberto, welcome to the show. What's going on up there in Middle Land?
Everything is going well over here on this side of the world. And mathematically speaking, I could count all these fingers, but out of respect to Jaden Daniels, I'll count to 4.
There you go. Respect to number 5. Can't use it. Going to 4 guys.
I'm still in on Jaden Daniels, but he's a soft boy now. I'm not about this.
Yeah. Joe Burrow comes out. He's like, I don't know enough about Jaden Daniels, and that was my favorite line of the entire week. Same school, but had to throw a little shade at him. Speaking about throwing shade, we got Vin back on the show who loves to throw shade, which is my favorite part of the show. What's going on, Vin?
Nothing. I just, Rafael informed me you've all been quite nasty, saying very nasty things about me, specifically my team name. And I'm not mad. When you're the people's champ, everyone's going to be chomping at the bits. And, they just want to take you down. You're the they.
So what actually happened was...
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you too. People read it as shy bitch because, we don't know the acronym. But Chris also reads it as something equally as funny. And he actually enjoyed the team name.
So I didn't read it that way. Rafael said it offhand one time and probably never thought of it again. But that's the only way I read the name now is shut your bitch ass up.
which is not what it stands for.
I understand that. He told us in the Discord what it stood for, and it went out of my brain. But shut your bitch ass up did not.
All right.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I think we universally like the name, even if it's a shy bitch. I mean, she's going to come out of her shell and win the league probably. So either which way, I like
It's a stupid name. I don't like it. It's dumb.
He doesn't like it because I wanted to stop him. You can barely hope to contain him on his little placard in the one league. And then when we switch his sleeper, I had to shorten it. And even after reading it, I refused to shorten it. He will not win.
If you ever win, which will never, ever happen, it's going to say shy bitch on there. I'm not even going to spell it how you spell it. I'm just going to put shy bitch.
I'm the Tracy McGrady of fantasy football. I have great teams, but I never fucking win.
If you win this league, we're not going to abbreviate it. You can have the whole belt, and we'll just have to get a new belt here. So, what's up,
the dog? Is happy about that.
Doggo claim.
Doggo claim. Mine's are in the hallway. I might bring them in. All right. So we got the introductions down. Let's jump into this running back money reversal. Obviously, the guys that got paid. We got Bijan Robinson. We got Jonathan Taylor. We got Jahmyr Gibbs. They reset the league. And they all, I feel like, are deserved for the contract that they got. If you look at the teams, they're kind of the cornerstones of their teams. Jonathan Taylor, he's the entire Colts. If you look at it, he's the guy. He's the offense. Don't talk about Alex Pierce. That guy has one leg at a trip. Is that who you're going to talk about?
When Dimes went down, Taylor he took a hit.
Well, Dimes is up. I mean, we can't have Anthony Richardson, do anything based on that preseason game. I mean, I don't know if he's going to make the team.
Did you watch one play? Because he was actually solid.
Well, Did you watch the fumble?
I was going to say the fumble was his fault. The interception was not, and he was fine overall.
Yeah, I didn't like
second and third stringers.
Yeah, I mean, there's a clear-cut difference between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson, which is kind of crazy to say based on the dimes we knew back in the day. I'm just worried about Alex Pierce never being cleared to play because it looks like his ankle is holding on by a thread. Good trade by you, Vin. So this is kind of like down season right now, MJT. So they had to pay him. I think he's the entire offense. Bijan Robinson, obviously he's got, a couple people around him. You got Drake London. You got most people's favorite Kyle Pitts. There are people there. Quarterback is a huge question mark for Atlanta. So, Bijan's going to be able to do it all and take the pressure off of whoever starts for Atlanta. Obviously, he had to get paid. And then Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is in the best situation out of the three. He has the best, I would say, quarterback out of the three. Best supporting cast out of the three. You got Amon-Ra, you got JMO, you got Laporta. But he does everything, and now he's going to be, I think, the bell cow because Montgomery's out the door, and I think if anyone's going to hit 75% snaps this year, I think it's going to be Gibbs. So, talk to me. Do you guys love that the NFL has changed with this running back reversal, or do you think it's kind of going to set teams up for failure with having to pay literally every position now?
I was going to say, go ahead, Vin.
I love it. These guys need to get paid. A lot of them, once they get in their 30s, they're not walking well. Good for them financially. The salary cap's all monopoly money anyway. They just keep increasing it year after year. They pay guys like, I don't know, Daniel Jones. They pay guys like Dak Prescott, and they're not. They get paid like they're Brady, but they're just not. And these running backs, they produce week in, week out. So, fantastic.
I was going to say, on my end, I don't know if it's so much a reversal. So, yes, they were devalued, but like Vin said, the salary cap just goes up. I think it's just resetting it to a similar percentage. I understand if you go into the 90s, it was a much larger percent for running backs than it is now. But I was going to look it up, but then I needed to speak. What's a number 2 or number 3 wide receiver going for? Because, in terms of, an average annual value of a contract, I feel like it's similar-ish to this, Like just
not a 2.
Huh?
Wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 2, I think, is in like the 8 or 9 range for wide receiver 2, at least on most of.
T.
I
Higgins,
feel
what's
like
he
it's a
making?
lot higher.
Well, T. Higgins is the exception to the rule. T.
Yeah.
Higgins, I mean, he gets paid like Chase, but
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
the majority don't. I kind of feel like the wide receiver 2 and the tight ends are kind of in the same ballpark at this point as far as value. Which, I mean, could they be the next group that gets paid? I mean, there's only like 10 that are kind of worth their salt, it seems like, in the league right now. But I mean, if all these positions are getting blockbuster deals, it started with quarterbacks, then it went to the wide receivers, and now the running backs. The tight ends are going to be, knocking on the door saying, "What about us?" But Raphael, you're shaking your head. What do you think about this 48 hours of running back frenzy?
Well, I mean, to answer your original question, I think it's a little bit of both. Like, obviously, like Vince said, they deserve to get paid. It's been a long time coming. But at the same time, like you said, the blockbuster deals for almost every position is going to add up after a while. It's going to really hurt a lot of teams, especially if said player goes down and then they're never the same again. And running back position takes a beating. Let's face it. I will side note, after Jahmyr Gibbs signed his deal, I had a friend of mine, shout out Pimpin' Pat. Vin, Pimpin' Pat. He had texted me and was like, "Oh, you should bring this up on the show. I don't think that Gibbs deserved that money. He's explosive, but he's not a workhorse. This and that. You should bring that up on the show." And I told him no, because that's a stupid effing opinion, and I don't want to come off stupid. So, that being said, I think Gibbs is absolutely worth that money. I think he's going to show out this season. He's absolutely a workhorse. He's every bit worth the 101 or 102, wherever you decide to take him. Or in Rich's case, he got him at the 103 because of Alberto. But yeah, I'm for it, and I think it'll. In the grand scheme of things, it's a good thing for the league that these running backs are getting paid.
Did Pat offer you a trade after that?
No, because I think he was offended that I told him it was a stupid opinion.
That's never stopped him for me.
I wanted to add real quick that if you compare it to the Saquon Barkley when he left the Giants to the Eagles, I think these teams want to avoid that. Like, they don't want those teams that player to go to like a rival team or go to a better situation. So they're like, let's give him an extension, let's give him a new contract, and they're still young. Jonathan Taylor's 27, Gibbs is 24, and Bijan Robinson's 24. So they're in their prime.
Yeah, I mean, it's also beneficial to do it early. Now, I'm not going to say my team does anything well, because historically we don't. But the one thing that the Jets did do is their deals early for both Breece and Garrett, which in retrospect, if they would have done them any later, we're talking a difference of $10 to $12 million. So it's just smart to, like, if you feel like it's your guy, lock him in early. And if you feel like it's your bell cow, pay him what they deserve. Because, you could do that now. Like, for example, with the Bengals locking in Chase and Higgins, you build the team around them and your young quarterback, and you kind of have the blueprint. So I think I agree. I think this is great for the league. I think, players are not in the NFL for long. NFL stands for not for long. The average contract for a player is 3 years. So you got to get paid when you can, especially if you're talented. But go ahead, Chris.
No, I need to type in more. One thing on the running backs, though, I'd be real mad if I'm James Cook. Like, you're the running champ, you're the reigning running champ, and what is he making? Like $12 million a year? And these guys are at 22, and that was given last year, right before the season, right? I think.
Yeah.
Like, I would be so mad.
And the Bills can do it. I mean, you're paying obviously Josh Allen like all the money in the world, but like you look at that team on both sides, they have the ability to pay James Cook. They have their number one wide receiver is DJ Moore, and then they got like people like Shakir and like Kincaid. They have the ability to give James Cook what he's worth. I think he would be the next guy. If I could look across the NFL, I mean, I think he's the most logical next candidate up, because he's definitely underpaid at this point. I agree.
And then in terms of contracts, once you get into the wide receiver 2 range, it's around like 16, 17-ish. So it kind of split the difference between both of our thoughts.
Who's 17? Is that like
Rashid Shaheed is the turn between 32 and 33 of highest paid.
okay? And he's like a speedster. Like he has one route and a dream, but he won a Super Bowl, so you get paid. So it's just beneficial, you know.
He's also a really good special teams
You got
player.
Lundell, you got Dobbs, you got Reed, Kupp, Evans. That's all around that range.
Okay. So I mean, I don't think wide receiver 2 needs to be in this range because I think it would break the salary cap if you're talking about that.
I don't think that in general it's a running backs are now going to get paid a large percentage of the salary cap and they're now back, baby, because we're in the 90s and not throwing the ball. Like wide receiver 2s and they make significant money. Like the top of the running back is equivalent to a wide receiver 2. It's a little more valuable in terms of the contracts, which is a little interesting, but like 5 years ago, wide receivers 2 were more expensive than running back 1s, I believe.
Yeah. Well, teams are, looking how to build. I think teams are honestly putting a ton of money in the offensive line and defensive line compared to what they were before because you don't win with either of those things. If you don't have the trenches, you can't build out. So, looking at good teams like the Eagles, that's what they do. They build the offensive line, they build the defensive line, and then, people want to come to the team, but it starts in the trenches. So everyone deserves to get paid. If you make it to the NFL and you're part of 0.9% or whatever it is that actually plays in the NFL, you deserve to make millions of dollars. That's just my opinion at the end of the day. Anybody have anything else on these stud running backs who help us win fantasy championships before we move on?
Jalen Warren's underpaid. Go ahead.
This is good to beat. And who's your running back 1 in your opinion? Is it Warren or Dowdle?
I don't think there's a one. I think it's definitely dependent on game script. I think it's going to be like last year, but I think Dowdle will have a little bit more oomph between the tackles.
It's a good problem to have. Yep. I mean, I'm seeing Dowdle get drafted ahead of Warren in a lot of mock drafts. So just I guess
but hasn't that
what?
Sorry, hasn't that always been the Steelers' MO? 2 backs.
No, I mean they drafted like Caleb Hampton. Yeah. Yeah. I think
they rolled with Najee Harris for way too long for you to consider that rather rolling with
Fast Billy Parker for a while.
That's true.
Yeah.
James Conner.
Love me some Conner.
I love me some Conner now. I want him to go on a team that respects him. Put him on anywhere but the Arizona Cardinals, and he'll probably be the running back 2 on that team. So
I mean, speaking of the Cardinals, that game last night, I know it's only one preseason game, but man, am I hyped about my Jeremiyah Love take now.
Why did they keep him in so long though? Like I understand like he's a rookie and he needs his like reps, but I felt like I think he was there a little too long.
Yeah. He got a little bit more touches than I would like to see in one preseason game.
He's bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Like as a running back, he feels like he runs big.
Like Adrian Peterson. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. I mean, you had him just running all over the place in college. It's going to be a good pick, Chris, you ready for the claim? You ready for your baby? I know we got there a little quicker than usual, but I think it's time.
Sure. So we went back to Keep Trade Cut, which we did a couple of weeks ago that I thought was kind of fun. So we got 3 boards that Milo built. The first board, since this episode is about running backs, we decided to do the first one with running backs. On this one, Keep Trade Cut, you have James Cook, running back champion. And this is obviously for fantasy football. You got Hampton, and you got Raphael's number 1 pick, Jeremiyah Love. Keep Trade Cut, who we going with? And I guess in terms of this, we'll say Dynasty.
I'll go first here. Keeping Love, cutting Hampton, trading Cook.
I don't need to speak anymore. Thanks, Ben. Nailed it. It's literally mine to a T. I think we did that last time too. I appreciate you. I'm going to drink my water now. Go ahead.
I think for Dynasty, it's honestly feels like Jeremiah Love's stock is so high right now. He'd be the one I would trade. I would keep Omarion Hampton. I think he's going to have a big season, the sophomore season, and I would probably cut James Cook. It's very close, I will say that. And really, if you go in any direction, I don't think there's a wrong answer to this.
That's a bad take. That's a bad take.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same camp as Rayfel. I'm cutting Hampton, but in that regard, he didn't choose to cut him, but I'm choosing to cut Hampton. I'm keeping Cook, and I'm trading Love because his potential is high, and the 2027 draft is supposed to be uber excellent. So get value from that.
I was going to say that's a nice little segue, but I'll give you Milo's in the meantime, and then we'll go to that one. Milo was keeping Love, trading Hampton, and cutting James Cook. So, I mean, it seems like all across the board we kind of swapped up. So, that was a good keep trade cut. But since you were talking about 2027, again, this is Dynasty since we're going to involve a draft pick on this one. So, keep trade cut. A.J. Brown, a 2027 pick, 107 specifically, or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I'm going to keep the 2027 first-round pick. I'm going to cut A.J. Brown because good riddance. And I'm going to trade Marvin Harrison.
I respect the pettiness.
And I'm going to drink my water again because I should talk first the next time, I guess, because you just did mine. So carry on, guys. I'll be here.
We had no conversation before this, just in case.
No. I mean, the next year's draft is just so loaded. You know, I mean, obviously, I feel like I know a little bit more about college than most people because my team's so bad. But, I mean, if you look at the first round next year, you're either going to get a stud wide receiver, a stud quarterback, or a running back like Kwan Lacey or like someone like that. I mean, the top 10 in next year's draft, I feel is going to be, you can't miss at this point.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Like, can you name 3 players that you think right now would go around pick 107?
I mean, that would be the Kwan Lacey running back area. Cam Coleman could be another one. You know, Jeremiah Smith is going to go at 1. Like, so he's off the board. And then, you're going to talk about quarterbacks at the point. You're going to talk about Arch Manning. You're going to talk about Sane, Mestamaker, Dante Moore. I just feel like if you're going to try to get a franchise quarterback for your dynasty team, next year is definitely the year to try to get that pick. I would actually try to trade into the first round as opposed to out of it.
So for me, since it's dynasty, I feel like if you have A.J. Brown on your team, there's a good chance if you weren't in win now mode, you would have traded him last year when he was down and out, because that's something I actually did, and I ended up going on and winning. So I feel like A.J. Brown would be a keep for me. I would trade that 107 just because of how hyped everybody is about next year's draft. I feel like I could get a lot of value out of that, whether it be trading down in the first round or trading for, doing the rich move and trading for a superstar. And then obviously I'm cutting MHJ. I don't see it with Marvin Harrison Jr. The last couple of days, he's been kind of doing better, but this whole off season, it just feels like he's just been a stinker. I don't know. I want no shares in him this season.
But isn't that kind of, I was going to say, isn't that kind of interesting though? Because like Marvin Harrison was like a can't miss prospect. I didn't do Dynasty then, but I'm assuming he was like number 1 or number 2.
He was in the one league that I'm in. He went 101. I actually traded for the 102 because I wanted neighbors, and I remember having a conversation with Rich about this because he's like, "Oh, well, Marvin Harrison's going to be gone, so I assume you're going to draft one of these quarterbacks." And I told him, "Nope, neighbors is my guy. I'm going after neighbors," and it threw him off a little bit. So I feel like I made out like a bandit in sort of a way that I was able to get neighbors in that draft at the 102. And then I still had another second round pick, which I was able to get Brian Thomas Jr., which I know last season stunk and everything, but it seems like things could turn around for him this season. So I feel really good about it and glad that Marvin Harrison wasn't available to me at all in that draft in that league.
Now, Rich, were you expecting Neighbors to go to, or were you trying to incept Neighbors to get onto your team at pick number?
Nah, I was being honest. That's the thing about like fantasy leagues. I won't bullshit. Like I'll tell you exactly how I feel. And that kind of is a detriment always to me. But in that league, we're talking about Meanie, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I had pick 12. Like it had no.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So like I could talk all the talk I wanted to talk. This year I have 12 too.
Nothing was making it to you.
Nothing was making it to me. So I was tipping a little bit. Hopefully no one else from that league listens, but it worked out because Marvin Harrison got traded in that league for T. Higgins the same year or following year. So he got traded. Yeah. So they didn't really like Marvin Harrison either.
But effectively what I was getting at, and I think this is the Milo's take, but I think I'm with Rayfel on this. Marvin Harrison can't miss prospect, number 1 overall across the board. We're cutting him. Everybody's cutting him right now. Milo's cutting him. Y'all are cutting him. Like, it feels like the correct answer is to sell that mid-round 2027 pick. Milo has it as keep that, trade A.J. Brown, and cut Marvin Harrison Jr. But I think I'm with Rayfel on this.
Yeah, I think Rayfel, you sold me. I was going to trade Brown, keep the first, but good job.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, let's move on to number 3. So let's move on to some wide receivers. Keep, trade, cut. Garrett Wilson, Egbuka, or Olave, who recently paid a good amount, if I am correct.
Yeah, he did. All right, so I'll start with this one so I don't have to drink any more water, so I don't have to piss during the show. I'm going to keep Egbuka. I'm going to trade Wilson. I'm going to cut Olave. And the reason why I'm going to cut Olave is because I feel like teams realize that he's one concussion away from probably not playing football again. I think Garrett Wilson's trade value would be a little higher. He's on a better contract, especially after this week that Olave just got his deal. And Egbuka is probably, I don't know if he's the most talented out of the 3, but I think he has the highest ceiling right now with what he has around him with Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay, as opposed to Geno Smith throwing to Garrett Wilson. So that's what I would do. Keep Egbuka, trade Wilson, cut Olave.
I would swap Olave and Wilson. The Jets stink, and I feel like they have no trade value. You're not going to get anything back for them. Olave, people like him. They're in a dome, pass-happy coach.
Okay. Well,
you and Milo on the same page. But one thing that always surprises me is Wilson seems very young. Like, he feels both old, but then I always see his age, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rich, he's young.
He's young. Yeah. And also trade value. Let's throw back a little bit. Let's talk about the demon. We have a general manager who got 2 first-round picks for Sauce. I can't cover Gardner, and then got a first and a second for Quinnen. That's deserved. I can't talk about Quinnen. Quinnen Williams deserves that money and more. He's the stand-up guy. But he got 2 first-rounders for a corner. I think he can get good value for Garrett Wilson.
The Colts are notorious for just throwing first-round picks out the door. Trent Richardson. That's all I have right now.
I mean,
I'm actually going to agree with Rich's take on this, like to a T. Little side note: every year around this time, I start to like get super high up on certain receivers. Last year was Egbuka. The year before that, it was Brian Thomas Jr. And Neighbors. This year, for me, it feels like Denzel Boston is going to be that guy that ends up ascending and becomes wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 range. He just has been having a monster training camp, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm really high on a Browns wide receiver here in August.
I mean, I don't disagree because clearly I'm out on Daboll, so Tate's out the door, even though he may have all the talent in the world, and Dyson's injured. So.
But, yeah, I mean, like I feel great because let's throw it back to waiver claim. How many times did we talk about this that we would pick Denzel Boston over Concepcion? I mean, like I think we hit the nail on the head, well, as of right now. But we were singing Denzel Boston praises like months ago before anyone kind of like jumped on, and then people were saying that we drafted Boston too early in this dyno, but it doesn't seem that way right now. So let's go Denzel Boston. Great. It's gonna be a good.
Albert, anything different?
No, I agree 100%.
With
All
me.
right.
Good job.
You're welcome.
All right. So
now, God,
we have another one.
I was gonna say you're gonna cut my unnecessary claim. The only thing that
wait,
matters.
hold on. The unnecessary.
I actually like.
Go ahead.
I actually like this one. I actually like this one.
So I saved this.
I'll take that as the positive side, as opposed to all the other 15 episodes were shit.
Wait. I saved this to be sponsored by the pulling guard. So, Andrew, why don't you take us away and tell us more about the pulling guard?
The unnecessary claim is brought to you by the Pulling Guard. The Pulling Guard is an elite line of sports and trading card products built for collectors. Put that shiny cardboard on display and don't get caught with your cards down. Check them out at protectyourpull.com and follow them on TikTok at @pulling_guard. Use code IOG WaiVER CLaiM for 10% off.
All right, so let's get into my very important unnecessary claim. So, keep, trade, cut comfort shows, because Stacy and I feel like have a fairly unique comfort show, even though it has a lot of seasons, and honestly, it's the best. So, keep, trade, cut, Trailer Park Boys, The Office, or Parks and Rec, and then I'll give you mine at the end.
I'm going to go with keeping Parks and Recreation, trading The Office, and cutting Trailer Park Boys, because I never heard of it or ever seen it.
Oh my God, Alberto. All right, so I'm going
Parks and
to
Recreation.
cut in right now.
Real-
Park
I
Boys.
hosted you in my home.
Hold on. I'm not done.
You should be.
Parks and Recreation is a creation from Mose from The Office, who was the cousin of Dwight Schrute.
Yeah.
So he did better because The Office just went down after season 6, 7, and 8. And Parks and Recreation is just a whole lot better. And I've never heard of Trailer Park Boys because I don't live in a trailer.
All right, well, I also don't live in a trailer. I don't live in Canada, and I'm not a white boy from Canada. But Trailer Park Boys is 100% keep. I don't know. It rivals It's Always Sunny for me. Parks and Rec, I've seen clips here and there. It's fine. I'm probably cutting it. And you got to keep The Office. The Office is iconic. My wife rewatches The Office probably every 6 months, and it still holds up. It's still great. So that's what I'm going with.
We got to trade one of them.
No.
Can't
I
keep
think
you
he's
don't.
trying to-
Sorry. I meant to trade The Office. Sorry.
Yeah.
In Trailer Park Boys, just based on Jim Leahy's shit-isms and Ricky's Ricky-isms. It's such a great show, and there's so many seasons.
Sweet empowered chicken.
Pepperoni rolls.
All right, so you got to keep The Office. OG, number one. Parks and Rec stinks. It's getting cut. It's absolute garbage show. And then Trailer
Like
Park
you.
Boys, I would trade that because people like Raphael like it.
Well, this is gonna sound terrible. I've never
it is.
seen an episode of The Office. I've never seen an episode of Trailer Park Boys. And I tried to watch Parks and Rec the first season twice, and I thought it was the worst show I've ever seen. So all I can do is cut Parks and Rec and then agree with everyone on the rest. The Office and Trailer Park Boys for the win. But Parks and Rec was just like the slowest show it was slower than Breaking Bad. So I couldn't get into it. And everyone says skip to season 2, but if you don't grab me in the first season of a show, then I don't want to watch season 2. So
Then you're not going to like Trailer Park Boys, to be honest
I was
with you.
going to say season 1 is wildly different than the rest.
Yeah. It's the same with Always Sunny, though, too. Season 1 that's Always Sunny is so much different than the rest of the series.
It's so weird and different. The correct ranking is the same thing Raphael said. So,
No, it's not.
I'm not a Parks and Rec hater. I enjoy Parks and Rec, but it's the cut in this scenario for me. Trade The Office, keep Trailer Park Boys. Everybody, not a sponsored Netflix. Just go on there, watch all 12 or so seasons. They're actually
they
coming
even have
back.
like 5 movies. It's crazy.
God, it's the best. Like even the dumb seasons, like where you had Don and Barb, and it's violence is never the answer.
That's one of the
Like,
funniest parts.
It's so stupid. It's the fucking best. Like, they're quick hitters. It's 20 minutes. I literally have in my house calming music that comes on at like 6 a.m. and it's the Trailer Park Boys theme song is on that playlist.
I like that.
Right? It's Stacy has done diamond paintings of Bubbles, Julian, and Ricky. Like, just
See
watch
the
it.
value? See the value I'd get with my trade?
God,
I think I won.
Yeah, you might be right, Ben.
I mean, you're probably right. Just watch the fucking show. It's the fucking best.
I mean, you
I've
can't.
seen it.
So many more people would trade for The Office because you have 2 people on here that's never even seen the show. But you know, I agree.
But you're gonna have some dumbass like me, all right, fella, that's like, take all my money, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. For me, Trailer Park Boys is the Bijan Robinson of these
100%.
shows. I'm not trading Bijan.
I'm just glad we
So
enjoy it.
I guess Parks and Recs are the corn on the cob.
Ugh.
Don't you besmirch the good name of fucking good on the cob. That was a Freudian slip in the positive.
No, what I'm saying, Trailer Park Boys is the macaroni that I traded away.
Enough
you?
of the damn corn.
I gotta watch it. I can't talk.
No, you should watch Small.
Like goddamn corn. We're getting no more corn.
I was gonna say so 2 things on it, and then we could go to the last segment, Rich.
Yeah.
So first season, wildly different. I still love it. I think it's like 6 episodes, so it goes by real quick. The second season has Ellen or Elliot Page just randomly fucking in it. Like, it's just weird. It's just for the one season. You got Elliot Page in there. It's weird. But you want to move on to segment 3, Rich?
Shout out to the Odyssey star himself. All right. Segment 3. Free agent finds now or later. So this is kind of for the degenerates out there that are scraping the barrel of their waiver wire and just adding secret gems, both old and young. Based on our drafts, we've already seen Alberto do it a couple times, and honestly, I feel like Alberto added 2 studs to his team by doing so, even though he's just taking a shot. But let's start with the older guys. The first guy on the list, we'll go around the room. Would you add this player or not if you had an open spot? The first guy on the list is Keenan Allen, who remains unsigned, is productive when he's on the team. There's a lot of situations where he can end up as the wide receiver too, I feel like, at this point. Case in point, Indianapolis or, another team like that. Would you add Keenan Allen if he got rostered today? Yes or no?
If it's redraft, 100%. If it's dynasty, I'm done. Too old.
Too old. All right. Vin?
I'll drink my water. I agree.
All right, got 2.
Yeah. It depends where he went. If I feel like the Niners are going to have more injuries and he could end up there, if he goes there, I'd make a claim on him. But outside of that, Raiders or the Colts, probably not.
What kind of claim are you making on him?
A waiver.
Is it a waiver claim?
Oh, yeah.
Alberto, what about you? Yes or no?
No, I'll pass.
We'll see what happens when he gets signed. It's going to be the first hour. Alberto's going to add him. So we'll go back to this. But, depending on the situation, I wouldn't be opposed. There's no, obviously on my team for this, I don't have any space to do it right now. But my team is 108 years old as it is. Might as well just keep the good times rolling. But
Alberto, you drafted him and then cut him, right? Or am I misremembering that?
No, I picked him up because there was a scuttlebutt of him maybe going to the Colts because of Pierce and Downs getting hurt. And then I was like, I'm not hearing anything. I just cut him.
Gotcha.
So the person that wouldn't add him already actually, in fact, did add him.
Do you still have 2 kickers?
No.
Oh.
And Vin, those 2 kickers were a strategy, just so you know. It
No,
wasn't a mistake. It was strategy.
I've seen the clips. That's fantastic strategy. I don't get it, but I don't need to.
Right. And neither kicker had the right pronunciation of the name, We got like Richard and like Ferberin, but it's like
Will the
right?
Thrill.
Yeah, right. You kept the right one, even though I don't know which one you kept. Honestly, I would have to
You
look.
didn't keep Will the Thrill. There was disrespect on Will the Thrill's name.
Player 2 is a guy that came up in this show before. You know, he's had some freak accidents that have derailed his career. Before that, he was a Pittsburgh Steeler. I'm talking about Najee Harris. Would we add Najee Harris, let's say in Dino? Would you add him, Raphael?
No, he runs like he has poop in his pants. It's weird. He stinks. He used to be a Steeler, so he's gay. Yeah, no, I'm out.
It's a bad take. That's a bad take, and you know it.
Well, then, would you take him, Ben?
Oh, yeah, I'd take him. He can pass protect. He can catch. He can run up the gut.
All the poop in the pants. I'll take it all.
Yep, and while he's running with poop in his pants and just little fecal matter hitting your bullshit players in the face, giving them pink eye.
Is he running backwards? What do you mean?
Because he's burning you guys. You're all behind him.
He doesn't burn anyone. Have you seen him play?
It's like the little Giants where the center turns around and farts at everybody.
Yeah.
And then they snap the ball. It's the fucking strat.
And it's also
pink eye.
Yeah, it's not fair to say he doesn't burn anyone. He burned himself with those fireworks. But anyway, Alberto, would you add him?
Yes, only because I have very low depth at running back. For my team in this group, I have a lot of receivers, but my running back depth is not great, so I would probably add him.
What team would he have to be added to for you to like entertain it? Like, if he have to be running back 2, or could he be like a running back 3 with upside?
No, like a running back 2.
Nope.
Not running back 3 with upside.
I mean, that's a very minimal team. So he obviously remains unsigned for a reason. He's probably not going to play any of these. What's going to happen is after week 1, they're probably just going to sign these people because it's not, a guaranteed contract. Smart teams do that. They wait until after week 1. They scoop a few players out and they hope for the best. So
yeah, like San Francisco.
All right. The third old head on here we're going to talk about is Darren Waller, who recently got signed by the Carolina Panthers. You look at the Panthers as a whole on that roster, and it kind of seems like he could be the guy at tight end. Very minimal people outside of Coker and McMillan. Chuba Hubbard just went down for a couple weeks. They're going to look to air it out, I think, a little bit more. Waller would be someone I would look to add if I had a spot, but I don't. Raphael, we'll keep it started with you again. What do you think about Waller?
I mean, I guess if I had the spot and I was then a tight end, maybe. It just feels like he isn't the epitome of health. He gets hurt. He'll put up 3 games in a row where he goes off and he looks great, and then all of a sudden he's hurt. He's done for the season. It's happened multiple times, I feel like. So, yeah, former Baltimore Darren Waller, I am out.
Vin?
Because I'm not going to hedge with the spot. I'm just out.
All right. We're doing it Shark Tank style.
He all the shit. He hasn't been in the, nah, I'm good. Just, nah.
Yeah.
So Vin,
he's a good touchdown dart. He's a good touchdown dart throw, but I wouldn't keep him. I don't really roster guys that make rap videos or songs. I'm against that. I feel like everyone that does that ends up stinking. Anthony Richardson did it. Stinks. Waller did it. He didn't play for 2 years.
Antonio Brown did it, but he did it after he retired, so I don't know if that counts.
Le'Veon Bell. Happy Gilmore throwing the AC unit on the Mista lady.
Yeah.
He just went crazy in that hotel room.
He's a rock star. Remember this one, this dance? That was iconic.
I remember me losing a fucking fantasy championship because he walked off at fucking halftime. I lost by 2 fucking points.
He's so cool.
In that fantasy championship.
He's so cool.
They still won the game.
So mad.
They don't need them. They still beat the Jets. It was fun. I was watching. It was great.
May or may not have some breaking news. Bucs wide receiver Emeka Egbuka, it's confirmed that he's a sprained toe. They're optimistic that he'll be back by week 1.
Blum, blum, blum.
I got to throw that in there.
Please, go ahead. Okay, Egbuka. We wish you well. We hope your child is in good health. Until then, please draft Ted Hurst, because he's going to be the guy this year. I wouldn't not do it. that was
I'm so happy that worked out.
Oh, good.
So
Very
Yeah.
good.
So Inside Baseball is bullshit. The thing we record on added like little sounds I could do at the top, and I'm like, hey, can you all hear this? I hope it fucking records for Andrew. Perfect.
Well, if it doesn't, we can throw it in there. All right. Waller, Alberto, yay or nay?
No.
Keeping it simple. So the next guy I know for a fact you would add because you have added him. We're talking about Cyrus Allen, who was the 5th round pick for the Chiefs this year, who has apparently been lighting it up in camp. It's a person that's on all my dynasty radars. All my dynasty radars, I guess that's English. Since because we drafted a little later. Cyrus Allen got added by Alberto Toot Sweet right after the draft. I think it made his team a little bit better, high upside. I would add him. We know Alberto would add him. Let's go backwards here. Chris, what do you think about Cyrus Allen? Would you add him?
Milo's in. I wouldn't add him to my singular only dynasty team because I forget who I have at the bottom of that. I had 7 wide receivers and 5 running backs that I then balanced, but I probably wouldn't add him for my team. I love a high upside swing. Casey's offense is going to be good. Seems fine.
All right, so we got a maybe. All that was a maybe, sure. Vin, what do you think about Cyrus Allen?
I like it. If I didn't have Rashee Rice, I would have picked him up earlier, but I don't really have room either. And I also have like 25 receivers, 3 running backs, so I can't really afford that. And
Yeah,
you know, it
you
probably
got-
stinks. Chiefs stink.
You gotta keep Claiborne. He's the guy. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Right, Phil.
Cyrus Allen, he's on the Chiefs.
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking of the other Allen from the Reds or the Commanders.
Drafted in the 5th round, I believe.
No, it feels like every year there's some hype around a rookie Chiefs wide receiver, and it never quite pans out. Even with Xavier Worthy, it hasn't panned out. I guess in a way it's panned out with Rashee Rice, but then you have to worry about him getting arrested every other month or whatever.
Or
So
taken
no,
out by Mahomes.
I'm pretty much out on that. I have no interest in that. Sky Moore comes to mind. I'm sure there was a guy last year that that's escaping me that's comes to mind. I'm out on wanting the 4th best receiving option on the Chiefs.
The Xavier Worthy that put up like 200 yards in the Super Bowl while they were down 40-6. Super Bowl MVP Xavier Worthy in garbage time.
Yeah,
That
but he
man-
hasn't done anything for fantasy, so that means nothing.
All right, sarcasm font.
I mean, I bet him for an anytime touchdown in that Super Bowl, so I'll take it.
I was meeting up with my uncle at that time. I'm like, all right, 40-6. I could text him. I feel good at this score to be like, where are we meeting up, bitch?
Right. To celebrate. All right, so we're going from a 5th round pick to a 6th round pick, maybe in a little bit of a better situation based on the depth chart. I'm talking about Malik Benson from the Raiders. You look at the Raiders depth chart, it's just a bunch of guys. You know, you got Trey Tucker, you got Beck. Malik Benson seems to be lighting it up equally. For a while there, he was the number 1 added player in Sleeper. I did snag him on my other dyno. I'm going to try to keep him for as long as humanly possible. I like it. I like the upside. You know, Kirk Cousins likes to air out the ball. Mendoza's going to grow with a rookie that's with him. I think it's a good setup. I don't know if the other guys are there for long. Jack Beck is obviously young. Trey Tucker is just for now type guy. Obviously, we know Bowers is the number 1 wide receiver, even though he's not a wide receiver. He's a tight end who could do it all. He's my Georgia boy, my favorite of all time. But I'd be in on Malik Benson. You know, he's not going to be on everyone's radar. You have to actually deep dive to kind of know about a Malik Benson, which it's going to make it more obtainable. But what does Milo say, Chris?
Milo's, because sure as shit, I don't know shit about this dude. Biggest rookie buzz in Raiders camp outside the quarterback battle. He's doing punt and kick return reps apparently. But he's mainly fighting for the wide receiver 5 or 6 spot. So my feelings on Kirk Cousins, that Melvin bitch. Like, I'm not in on that Melvin bitch. I could be in on my neurospicy brethren, Fernando Mendoza, though. So what are we talking about?
Nah, I don't think Mendoza. He might play the second half, but that first half it's all going to be Cousins.
But you're only taking this guy in a dynasty, right? So you're not taking a redraft. So you're assuming Mendoza is factored into the equation.
That's exactly my thoughts, Chris. Is if it's redraft, I'm out. If it's dynasty, I'm curious because it does seem like they have some kind of rapport and are building on their chemistry together, Mendoza and so same wavelength.
And then Alberto.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Wait and see approach on him. I feel like late in the season he might come on strong because they're kind of figuring out their wide receiver room. Jack Beck, I want to believe in him. I don't know why. There's no rational reason why.
I know why.
Tell me.
Because he's white.
That's a factor, but not
that's
the ultimate reason.
Why.
Well, that's a fact.
He caught a touchdown yesterday, and it looked pretty nice. Yeah. Mendoza.
It's actually interesting. One of the comments on Hard Knocks about the cornerbacks was why there's so many white DBs in this backfield for the Seahawks. Cooper DeJean setting a trend, baby.
There you go. Well, Terrion Arnold there is about to take half of them out. So
I actually saw something about this earlier. It was a funny comment. I saw a post that said Terrion Arnold gets signed by Seahawks, and then I just see someone comment, "What the hell did Christian Wilkins or Watkins, whatever that player that was on the Raiders, do? Where he's still not signed, but this guy ends up getting signed." I just thought it was a funny comment.
It's kind of wild, they justify it in Hard Knocks. He brings his son in. He's like, "Can we get away with the killer?" He's like, "Yeah, wow, we run Super Bowl. Who cares? We have good publicity right now."
We started that episode with a beautiful golden retriever too.
Right.
They were softening us at the start.
He's like, whatever a 2P can get us, we're bringing all the people from Rikers Island. Let's do it. So now's the time to strike, I guess, for that. All right. We got two more players, one old, one new. Let's start with the new guy, Barrion Brown from the New Orleans Saints. This guy I'm higher on than ever before because Tyson is now going through his old ways of being injured. And it's an injury that's going to carry into the regular season, which for Tyson, is going to be a little longer than most people. He's not the quickest at recovering. Olave, again, he gets injured often as well. If he has one hit to the head, Barrion Brown becomes your number one wide receiver. So he's kind of on the waiver wire right now. We're a fan of Chuck on this show. We think that he's a good guy. Obviously, Alberto is the highest on the Saints because he had him winning 13 and a half games. But we'll start with you, Alberto, because you did, in fact, just add Barrion Brown this week. What made you add him?
Basically for the same thing you said. He could find his way up to number 2 receiver, number 1 if either one of those players miss time. You have Juwan Johnson that is going to be one of the weapons. You have Kamara. You have Travis A-Chain or ETN, however you want to call his name. A-Chain. So I every time I text Rich, I put ETN, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, so they have weapons. So it's he doesn't have to be forced to get anything. But I think, chances are just going to come his way naturally because, again, you don't know what's going to happen with Olave. Hopefully he stays healthy. And Jordan Tyson is questionable. And there's really no other depth behind that.
Well, they have Big Papa Pump's kid who just got suspended for however many games. I wonder what. We can only guess, right? But yeah, I would be open to taking a flyer on him, especially given the situation. If anything, I think the Jordan Tyson injury kind of opens the door for Juwan Johnson to be more valuable going forward. We'll see what happens with Tyson's injury and how long he's going to be out. But I feel like Juwan Johnson is slowly climbing up my board because of that.
Yeah, I feel that way about Kamara. I thought literally Kamara was dead in the water. But I mean, if you have your number 2 wide receiver deceased and Kamara catches literally everything in PPR, have ETN as your runner and have Kamara out of the backfield as your PPR back. That's the way that they both get snaps and everyone's kind of happy, because there's no way that ETN is getting 70% of the snaps like Twitter thinks. It's not going to happen. But Vin, what do you think about Barryon Brown?
I'd take a flyer on him. He's a speedster. Why not? Pass happy offense, and the one and the two are always hurt, like you guys are saying. So it would behoove me to take a flyer on him.
All right. So we're kind of universally on the Barryon Brown train. This last guy we're going to close with is not that new, but not that old. It's Marshawn Lloyd from the Green Bay Packers. Obviously with Josh Jacobs and everything else, it's kind of murky right now. Marshawn Lloyd has gone through a slew of injuries, needs to be ramped up himself. He was a hot ad a couple weeks ago, if not a month ago, and whenever the news came out, he still steadily added. But is he gonna even do anything with the opportunity is kind of the question for me, because he's never really done anything in the past because of the injuries. I did add him in my one league, and then I dropped him because we needed to do final cuts. I didn't feel like he was worth the roster spot when it was all said and done. So I am out on Marshawn Lloyd right now. But Rafael, what do you think? You didn't pick him up in me, so he's still out there if you want him.
It's tough. I feel the same way about him that I feel about Jonathan Brooks. I want to take a flyer on them, but the injury history just scares me too much, and it almost doesn't feel worth it. It really depends on what my running back depth looked like and who else was available, but I'd probably be out on him.
Vin, you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Outside of Love and Jacobs, I'm not too high on anyone on the Packers. I like Christian Watson, but he's another one. He's always hurt. And who knows what the other receivers they got. And the Tucker Kraft, he fucked up his leg. Sorry. F-bomb, my bad.
I did 13 times. This is unedited.
Okay.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. This episode 16 before the regular season.
I was going to say, sorry, I'm fucking exhausted. Monday morning at 5 a.m., my mom called me saying, I think I broke my wrist. So my fucking week, I am just tired.
Top of the morning to you, huh?
Good morning.
Great start to the week.
I'm out on the Packers.
So, Chris, I know you're out on this week, but are you in on Marshawn Lloyd?
Well, I'm out on Josh Jacobs, so sure, I'm in on this dude.
All right, number one claimer for Marshawn Lloyd, Chris. Alberto, you get to end our show here. What do you think about Marshawn Lloyd?
Okay, so it's real quick, but I'm going to give two answers. The first one is I would, only because I have Josh Jacobs, and if he gets suspended, because there are talks of a possible suspension with him and Puka Nacua that could happen in the season, it's a good grab to handicap. If I didn't have Josh Jacobs, no.
I literally thought you were going to say yes and no, but that was actually very logical. That's a great way to end the show. Guys, have anything before we close this out in a tight hour? God,
yes.
No. Oh, we got Vin. All right. What's up?
Ravens stink. Steelers rule. Birds stink too.
Okay, rebuttal.
I mean, I was going to say something nice about Alar, but
Alar,
fuck you.
No, we don't want it.
To quote the great Mark Twain, few things are more irritating than when someone is wrong but is also very effective at getting their point across. You're very effective at getting your point across, Finn, but you're wrong so many times. Let's face it. Yep.
Prove it.
Now I want to quote the great Benjamin Franklin, F this John.
And to quote Eleanor Roosevelt,
God,
America's all about speed. Hot, nasty, badass speed.
You got 20 seconds to close it, Rich.
All right. This show has been brought to you by no one. No one sponsors the show. Please sponsor the show. We need money. Anyway, if you want to subscribe, please find us on YouTube at WaiVER CLaiM. The show at WaiVER CLaiM Show. after this week, we actually have preseason football to talk about. So this is going to be our last, fantasy-driven one. Then we get to talk about actual football, which I love because actual football keeps the show going. And until next week, this has been WaiVER
ClaimWaiver ClaimWaiver
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Who you fade? Who you ride all week? Human mind versus the mainframe. We decide that speak.